I thought I would do a few problems here to help you out, and you can use these for doing your homework. We have sine theta equals 0.43. Now the first thing I'd say to do is let's draw a quick unit circle. Just something like this. It's a unit circle, so our radius is 1. Sine is what on the unit circle? It's our y value. So this is saying y equals 0.43. Well, here's about a half, so it's going to be something under there. And we're going to have two places here on the unit circle where it will equal. So we have one in the first quadrant, one in the second quadrant. What we're going to do is, on our calculator, and you'd write this down, you'll have theta equals the inverse sine of 0.43. And I'll take out my calculator to do this. Maybe I'll cover up the screen right now. And I'll turn it on. First thing, let's check we're in the right mode. Okay, I'm in radian mode, and the problem said I need to be there. So I'll press second sine, and then 0.43. Enter. So I get this number 0.444. 0.444. Now that represents this number here. How do I get the other number? Now remember that 0.44 is saying this angle is 0.444. How do I come all the way around to the second one? What is this angle? Well, you could look at these two triangles and you can figure out they're the same. We talked about that when we were looking at the stuff today. We have that this side is going to be the exact same. This angle over here coming up from the negative x-axis will be 0.44. What is the half circle right there in radians? That's going to be pi. So what we're going to do is, in order to get this other angle, it will be or pi minus 0.444. Now I'm just going to leave it like that for 1 second, and we'll come back to that to see how to get the rest. Let's take a quick moment to look at the graph of this. Now this whole unit is working on, or this lesson is working on graphing, and we know sine, you've already graphed that, is looking like this. It can also go on the other side, etc. Now we have the max is 1. Here's a half. We'll go a little bit lower than that. And we have all the solutions where this is crossing the graph. And we can see more. And it's going to keep on going in both directions. And you know the sine keeps on oscillating, going up and down like that. So there'll be even more and more solutions. What we're going to do here is give 4 solutions. And we know the first one here is 0.444. We're going to calculate this second one. That's right here. And we'll do that in just a moment. What is this one going to be? Well, what we need to do is say how long does it take to go from there to there? Well, that's very similar from the start to this point. And what is that? That's a period. So what it's going to do is it's going to take 1 full period to get over there. So if we take this number, 0.44, we can also say or 0.44 plus 2 pi. And then we can take this other number and add 2 pi to it as well, and we'll get another solution. Well, let's go back to the calculator. On the screen right now, since I already have the 0.44 part, what I could do is just hit there. Our first solution was pi minus, so we'll go second pi minus, and we can go second, and at the very bottom, right below the 3, there's a negative sign, and right, you can't really see that in the screen very well, but it says answer there. You can press that one, so a second answer, and it says it's going to basically put the number that came before it, the 0.44. And so this gives us 2.697. So we have there, or 2.697. So now we have those two solutions. Approximately, it should be. Or we come down here at the bottom, and we're going to take 2.697, and we're going to add 2 pi to that as well to get this other solution there. And that makes sense because we're taking this point, 0.44. If we go all the way around the circle, we're going to land up at that same spot. Or if we take the 2.697, we go all the way around the circle, in other words, add 2 pi, we're going to end up at that same spot. So what we can do here is just hit the button plus, and it'll automatically put answer there, and then type in 2 pi. And we get 8.97. Now, in order to get the other one, we're going to need to bring back this inverse sine of 0.43. So I can say inverse sine of 0.43, and I want to add 2 pi to it. So I record those as my solutions. I have 6.728 and 8.980. Now, if I'm giving it to the nearest thousandths, that's what this says, I need to make sure I write all 3 places. So there are 4 answers here that I've written, and we're going to write all 4 of them. All right, the next one. Cosine of theta equals 0.21. We'll draw another quick unit circle. Now, cosine is what on the unit circle? It's the x value. So we have, here's a half. It's about a quarter, a little less than a quarter. We're going to have 2 solutions again. The calculator will give us this top one, and we're going to have to calculate that bottom one. So let's take a look here. I cleared my screen just so it's not as messy, and we'll say inverse cosine of 0.21. Enter, and it gives us 1.359. So I'll write that theta equals the inverse cosine of 0.21 and is approximately equal to 1.359. Now that's this first part. Well, that's also going to be equal to this one over here. Now we did in class, we said or negative 1.359 in the example I was doing today. Now, how do we get the other solutions? Because they want 4 solutions for this problem. Well, if I'm already at this point, I can go all the way around the circle again. So I can say plus 2 pi to both of those answers. And I can say plus 2 pi. So on my calculator, I would have, I can just hit the plus button and type in 2 pi. Notice how I'm not just using 1.359 because that would be inaccurate. I want to use all the decimal places. In order to do the other one, I'm going to need to say, I can do that inverse cosine of 0.21 again, but that says a positive, and I can say negative of my answer, so second that negative symbol, plus 2 pi. And then I'm going to write these numbers down, 1.359 and 4.934. I'll round that up. So I have, oh, I said 1.39. That's wrong. I'm going to do the 7.642 number. Sorry about that. 4.924. So I have those solutions. I have a total of 4 there. Let's take a look at one more problem. Oh, actually, I didn't do the graph on this one. Let's take a look at that one too. We have cosine starts up high. And again, you've already graphed that one. It just keeps on going. And it also goes in the opposite direction. And we have 0.21 something down here. So the calculator gave me this first number, 1.359. And we said this other one, the negative, because of those two values are going to be the same, and we could see that on our unit circle. We added 2 pi to this, and that took us over that same spot here, which was our 7.642, and then we added 2 pi to the negative number, and we got the 4.924. Let's take a look at one more example, the tangent. We have tangent of theta equals -2. Now, we haven't looked at this one on the unit circle yet, but we have looked at tangent. You remember that tangent is equal to the slope of the line. And this is basically a line of slope -2 that goes through the origin. So we're going to take out our calculator and we'll say theta equals inverse tangent of -2. So we'll say inverse tangent of -2, hit enter, and that gives us -1.107. -1.107. So that what that calculator actually gave us was this answer here. Now, when you draw a straight line, how much of a circle does that give you? That's going to cut the circle in half. So if a whole circle is 2 pi, what is half the circle? That's going to be pi. What we can do here is, if this number here is -1.107, we can add pi to get this second one. -1.107 plus pi. Then how can we get it again? We can add another pi once we get this number, and that'll take us down to the next spot. In fact, what can we do to get any number of solutions? We could add a pi every single time. Now, what's special about pi for tangent compared to 2 pi for sine and cosine? It takes 2 pi for sine and cosine to repeat, but for tangent, it only takes pi. And I'll take a look at that one again. So what we can do is, and I'll start writing this one down first, we'll just say plus pi, and we could just say plus pi again. So now we have 2 answers in between that are positive, because our problem says between 0 and 4 pi. And remember, pi is 3.14, so 4 times that is going to be 12 point something. Now, there's a nice thing about your graphing calculators, and that's it. At this point, we actually don't really need to hit the second time answer plus. If we hit answer, since it says whatever the previous one plus pi, that's what it's going to give me. And I can do it again. So at this point, I just write all these numbers down, rounded to 3 decimal places, and this second to last one needs to be rounded up, and the rest don't need to be rounded up. So I will have 2.034, and so then it's 2.034 plus pi, 5.176, 5.176 plus pi, 8.318, and then 8.318 plus pi is 11.459. Now, that is less than our 4 pi, so our solutions here will be those 4 solutions. Now we can take a look at what the graph looks like. Remember, we looked at the graph today, and we can see, come over here, I've already typed it in, tangent of x, and I can hit zoom 7 for zoom trig, and that'll give me a rough idea of what it looks like. The nice thing about this is it makes my scale, each one of these tick marks represents pi over 2. So if this is negative pi over 2 and this is pi over 2, how long does it take to repeat? Or how long does it take to complete one cycle? What's one period? It is pi. So here's pi, here's pi. What I can also do here is I could take, and let me look again, this was at -2. I could go y equals -2, and that's going to give me my horizontal line, and I can see where it's crossing. It crosses here. This is the one number the calculator gave us, and we added pi to get those, and you know it's going to continue as well. I hope this helps and makes some sense, and if you have any questions on it, you make sure you can ask me tomorrow.